Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be a match between Bisu and C here on Circuit Breakers. Had a game between these two players on this very map not very long ago, but this is a different match because the team colors are different. Bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player C. And in the top right, we have the white Protoss player going under his Smurf name only star. It is Bisu. All right, man, a PvT here on Circuit Breakers between two very, very excellent players. Bisu is the best StarCraft Brood War Protoss of all time. And C is an excellent Terran player, but because he's not Flash, he's not the best Terran player of all time. Which is no shame, because Flash is very, very excellent. All right, so let's see here. Gonna see Goliaths, gonna see carriers, gonna see tanks and vultures, and we'll have to see. I don't watch these in advance so that, you know, just so my surprise can mirror your own when something weird happens. And yeah, alright. So every single Saturday, I stream here on YouTube, on my channel, Brood War replays that people have sent to me. If you'd like to have a game of yours cast by Falcon Paladin, send it to falconpaladin@gmail.com, the subject of Brood War, and I will probably cast it at this point. Like, statistically, your odds are pretty good. So keep that in mind. If you just have a replay you want me to cast anyway, like you just have access to a replay I haven't shown on the channel yet, and you want me to cast it, send that too. I'd love to find some like unknown Flash Jadon game from forever ago that hasn't been on the channel before you have access to for some reason. I would appreciate it. I'd give you a very, very hearty thank you for sure. But anyway, nothing crazy is happening here at all. That's a gateway coming up. We got ourselves a barracks down on the other side, lowing off this low ground, or walling off this low ground. Interestingly enough, what else are we looking at here? Cybernetics core, obviously. We'll see how quickly he goes for that singularity charge upgrade. And then supply depot, yeah. I imagine we're going to go factory pretty quick, although there is no gas yet from C, so probably going to go for an expansion. Just try to hold off whatever comes this way with bunkers and marines, which we've seen a million times before, and then start getting that second gas later on. Yeah, he's starting to float 250, 300 minerals. Yeah, for sure. He wants to go ahead and build a command center with minerals in his hand. Or in his lap, or what is that angle? Looks like he's just kind of holding it in his lap, doesn't it? Things you can see in the remastered client you couldn't see before. So you need to build a whole command center while holding on the minerals, which seems like it'd be hard. I don't know, harder anyway than doing it with your hands free. So, Marine hanging out, singularity charge is being upgraded pretty much instantly here out of Bisu, so he's planning on being super mega aggressive. He's probe scouting as well here on Circuit Breakers, SCV, scouting up to see if maybe this is where the Protoss lives, and it's not, unfortunately, but it's alright. Spawning cross spawns is bad luck. It is, I mean, it happens, right? We've seen games where somebody cross spawns scouts first, but it is not the norm. So if you just get cross spawns and you're trying to scout, it's going to be a bad time. Did he just honestly... What? You did not just... Did he just... Did Bisu scout top left and then go bottom right and just completely miss this? Oh, no. I don't know. God, I don't know if he poked in and saw that marine or not. Can't tell if he took any damage because the shields had healed up anyway. SCVs should be fine. I mean, it does take 8 or 9 shots for a Dragoon to kill an SCV. And the SCVs are pretty zippy. So the bunker is up. He's going for that factory now. He's got that gas coming into the main base. He's going for supply depots too. And wait, is it back behind this? Where the heck is the factory? Oh, it's over here. Okay. All right. I can live with that. The SCV does go down. Holy cannoli. He got it. Now here's the bunker and waiting for singularity charge to finish. And it's going to be a while. This Dragoon's going to have some time to get some shots off on this bunker and force some lost mining time out of C. And also some lost resources as he has to repair that bunker. Because if it dies, he's dead. So he needs to keep alive here. Keep sharp, keep alive. Expanding behind it is Bisu because of course he is. He's not going to sit here and try to one-base this thing. And here goes nothing. Factory 1 is almost complete. You can start making a tank pretty much now. I said pretty much now. Production tab. Help us, guy. Help us make it. Alright. Yeah, alright. Machine shop first. Gotta get that machine shops. Yeah, so 3 SCVs on here are enough to out-repair the damage done by 2 Dragoons. It's not a million other Dragoons coming in, actually. This SCV wants to go for the scout. Oh, the block. The block is not enough. The block is not enough. The SCV comes in, doesn't see anything. I guess didn't end up scouting the robotics facility follow-up, which is the bigger deal here. Machine shop done. And now tank begins. Excellent. Well done. Not supply blocked either. Really keeping on top of that supply. Bunker taking shots, but overall not that big of a deal. There are 2 more Dragoons coming in, but again, one of those was delayed because it was trying to kill that SCV. And a 3rd base on the way from Bisu. That's a little greedy, Bisu. Little bit guy, but we'll see how it works out for you in the long run. Another Dragoon shows up. Tank is trying to be produced out of that factory as fast as possible. Another SCV has to come off the line to... Whoa, did that barracks just land on that guy's head? Doesn't feel like it did anyway. So the tank is up. Siege mode is almost done. That doesn't take that long to upgrade. And we've seen this dance. This is a very, very common dance in StarCraft Brood War. In the PvT scene. It's just like ZVT in StarCraft 2 these days. It's basically the same opening every single time. Because there's not much really else to do. And there's your fire! And yeah, this is a great spot. Because the Dragoons can't just jump on top of you. If you were here, they might try jumping on top of you. But from this corner, it's really, really hard. Hard to jump on top of that tank. So, again, annoying. But not the end of the world here. C is holding on just fine. He's got vultures. He's working on spider mines and vulture speed. And the Dragoons get out once they've taken some siege tank hits. Excellent. Now, Observer on the way because he knows that his Terran opponent is working on spider mines, and those things are cloaked all the livelong day. I guess. Unless you're trying to kill something, in which case they are not cloaked. But you know what I mean by that. And then Vulture Speed is just nice for zooming around and escaping situations that are bad and getting into situations that are good for you. Pretty sure the Vultures are trying to see if there's a 3rd base somewhere. There's not one here, but there is one at this minerals only patch just outside of the main base for Bisu. Observer flying in, seeing what we're dealing with, and 2 Dragoons. Not really enough to save these probes if you wanted to get in there. You're going to try to spider mine him? He's going to try to spider mine him. What? Oh, so many spider mines all of a sudden. Okay. These probes are in trouble. 2 Vultures are down, but 2 Vultures are alive. And I mean... Oh, that was awesome. That was some pretty good stuff. A lot of probes going down there. And Bisu's at 31 probes to 41 SCVs. That was an excellent attack. Again, the greed was punished pretty effectively by C there. And that's what you like to see. Oh, and getting a shot off on that Dragoon and this Dragoon too. So not too shabby, man. These spider mines paying for themselves without question. Without question. But yeah, in my own games, I do try to punish players who go for a quick 3rd base or like a command center first or something, and I wish there was a way to, like, for me to easily do it, but man, people are good on the ladder, it turns out. Turns out they're really good. C's taking a 3rd base at the same place that Bisu took his, just mirrored across the map here. We're looking at 66 to 71 total supply. Bisu is totally up. And again, that's generally considered okay because you're going for gateway units, whereas this could be factory units for C. The tank count needs to get high enough to cause problems for the Protoss. Armory coming in here too for future upgrades. Additional factories on the way, because what else are we going to do as a Terran player? Honestly, there's no reason at all to go bio. Although maybe if you went bio and your opponent didn't really scout you well enough, you could cause them some problems. But I mean, seriously, if like a Marine medic army just showed up right now and they had stim and +1 attack or something, they'd wreck these Dragoons. But the fact of the matter is, it would have been Storm if they were Marines, and the Storm just wrecks the Marines. So there's a reason we never ever see that attempted. Again, sneak attempts, maybe. Maybe at the lower levels that is possible. Ooh, a fleet beacon, though. Ooh. Bisu is going fleet beacon. We haven't seen carriers on the channel in a while, at least not on one of these big casts. We definitely do see carriers on the things that I cast on Saturday, though, here on the channel. Because people love carriers in team games, tell you that much. A little bit harder to pull off inside 1v1s, but... Oh, carrier production has begun. Alright, carrier production on the way now. Now... How's the scanning going? How's the peeping, Tommy? You seen these carriers? You seen this fleet beacon? I don't know. I keep hearing scans. I think he's just trying to check the probe count on that 3rd base. I'm surprised. Yeah, he's going to expand up here. He needs more gas. He needs more gas than 2 bases. Okay, so he's scanning here. I mean, what is he doing, I guess, is the question. He has a couple Goliaths, but he's not, like, mass-producing Goliaths or anything. He's still making a tank, which I don't know if that's a great idea. I mean, your tank count is enough to handle these Dragoons. What it's not enough is to handle the carriers that are on the way. So, it's almost time to kind of push in and just see what you can kill with the tanks, because they are losing their effectiveness the longer this game goes on. Just like second after second here. Dragoons pushing up, looking for spider mines with their observer buddy. They'll find a couple up towards the north here. And yeah, let the carrier production begin. It's always weird, these buildings, like the Stargates, where's it being built? In StarCraft 2, you kind of have something warping in, which is kind of neat, and you can see it as it's coming in, but in this case, it's like you're building a carrier in an empty shell of a building for some reason. I don't know how, I don't know why. Lore questions in the game, and they make no sense at all. Oh, gosh, they really, really want to kill. They really want to kill that shuttle. Oh, these Zealots are getting picked off by the Vultures, because Vultures are so good against Zealots. Fourth base up for C here. All right. He's got that fourth base running even before Bisu's fourth base is running. Observer picked out thanks to a scan and a Goliath combo here. So, I mean, at this point, yes, it is so much Goliath production. Charon Booster is getting started. Oh, maybe he's just starting Charon Booster. Is he too late? Is he too late, ladies and gentlemen? We'll see. We'll see if he can win this thing. Again, Bisu, only the best Protoss player of all time. I'm sure C can handle it. I mean, he can. He has the capability. Will he or not is always the question, and that's why you clicked on this video. Right? If this was just Bisu had a 100% chance of winning this game, you wouldn't watch it. Why would you bother watching it? Unless you just loved Bisu. Which, fair enough. I think a few of you just love watching Bisu. But the carriers show up. Missile turret causes some problems. Missile turret no longer causing problems. SCV is getting picked off. Charon Boosters is only halfway complete. Yeah, I gotta say, based on the number of Vultures and tanks that are out, these are surprise carriers. For all the scans that were going up from C in the last few minutes, none of them saw that fleet beacon. Because he's got way too many tanks and Vultures for the number of carriers that exist here. I mean, the turrets and the Marines doing some pretty good work getting rid of these interceptors. It's not like it's 2 carriers, guys. It's not like 8 showed up. If 8 showed up, I think we'd just be dead. Personally, C would be dead at this natural base. So, I mean, that's fine. He's okay. He's making 7 Goliaths at a time. Charon Boosters is almost done. He wishes he would have had it for that attack, but really, the harassment was okay. It's 71 to 68 workers at the moment, and the SCV count is higher than the probe count. I love that worker count, by the way, is my favorite thing. And just running smack dab into some Dragoons up north. These Vultures, never mind. We're not going to do a 1-to-1 battle versus these Vultures at all. Maybe a 2-to-1 battle or a 3-to-1 battle, sure. But not 1-to-1. It is not ideal for us. White, a little bit hard to see on the minimap. We'll keep an eye on these carriers anyway. 4 kills on that carrier, and probably 4 kills on the other carrier. They might just both be 4. So, a lot of missile turrets coming in, and that is so annoying. You just watch your interceptor count die as you attack into this just huge amount of missile turrets. It's so frustrating. In situations where I've definitely gone for mass carrier, especially in campaign situations, because they're so good against the AI. The AI is dumb. The AI never makes a ton of Goliaths to try to kill your carriers. What they will try to do, though, on the other hand, is they will stasis the crap out of your stuff if you're going against Protoss. And if you're going against Terran, they'll actually lock down your carriers, which I've been told is not super viable here in Brood War, although, again, Boxer did it that one time, which was awesome. But really, it's like the only time that's ever happened in the professional scene, it seems like. And I have that replay, but by golly, it is corrupted, and we do not get to the point where it is awesome, unfortunately. I would love to cast that game someday. I don't think it's even possible. Maybe I can find a VOD and do that whole casting over it thing. I don't rightly know. Right side base on the way from Bisu, going for a 5th here, which I'm really a big fan of. He's got scouting vision everywhere, pretty much, at every one of these bases. Well, maybe not these 2, but top left, bottom right, expansion, etc., etc. So it's not mass carrier. Maybe that's the reason that C is doing it this way. It's very hybrid. You got the ground units, you got the air units here for the Protoss. The attack is coming in right now. And Dragoons attacking on into this 4th base, causing some problems here. The Goliaths are going to get shots off on the bodies of the carriers. Should be able to, but now the Zealots are problematic. And C's just like, screw it, let's go. Let's push up. Are we in a base race scenario already? At 14 minutes? This looks really bad. for the Terran. This base is in a huge amount of trouble. Everything is going to die. But guess what? Bisu's natural base is also dead. Bisu's third base might also be dead. They always say never base race a Terran. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's definitely what's up. There's really nothing stopping this from happening at all. I don't know if C recognized he didn't have the Goliath count to really save the day here. So he's just like, well, I'm going to go kill what I can on the other side of the map if that's okay with you. I don't know what we're doing. The tanks take down the natural base. The third base is getting fired onto, but only by one siege tank. I'm surprised these Goliaths are just moving up. So, I mean, oh, man. Trying to get close enough to these carriers with your Goliaths is going to be hard with these Dragoons. They have +1 attack. It's +2 attack for the air right now. Goliaths are on +2 attack and +1 armor, which is pretty nice. All the Marines die because, again, Marines do not belong in a TVP, although Marines are pretty good against carriers. It's just they're not good against anything else, really. You know what? Actually, I'm trying to decide if Marines would be a decent play against carrier Dragoon. Is it just a range question? It might just be a range question. That's a lot of Goliaths all of a sudden. All of a sudden, that's a lot of Goliaths. They're just going after the interceptors here. Again, forcing Bisu to replace them. He's a little bit mineral starved for that reason. He's seriously, man, he's got the main base on lockdown. Every Dragoon that comes out of here dies. Is he going to depower both of these Stargates? He's trying to depower both of these Stargates. He still hasn't killed the third for some reason. I guess that tank that was firing on it is gone now. DT out. I hear it, DT. I'm hearing DT. There he is. Oh, he's so hard to see. That gray on this gray ground. Scan. Turret coming up. Turret up. DT is dead, but the base is saved. And the carriers wipe out the remainder of this army. So both players losing some stuff there, but I gotta say, C was on the worst end of that. He's up 133 to 108 supply, which is nice, but he lost that fourth base, he lost his third base, and really, Bisu only lost his natural and maybe a gateway or two. So production-wise, he's in a much better position. Is there a zealot under this command center? There certainly is a zealot under this command center. You cannot land. Alright, so army supply definitely favoring the Terran at this stage. They've got about equal worker counts, but 147 to 120 overall means there is a much higher army supply right now for C. So these Goliaths, they got the 2-2, or they're working on the 3-3. They're working on the 2 armor, which is good. I'm a fan of the 2 armor here. Air is still that +2 attack, and no armor upgrades for the Sky Toss at all. But yeah, this Goliath count should be able to handle these carriers. It's the Dragoons that are more of a problem. With their +1 attack and +1 armor, they kind of chew through these Goliaths pretty handily. So yeah, this is the first time I've seen kind of a hybrid style PvT with carriers where it's not just mass carrier, but it's definitely some Dragoons too, just to make the Goliaths work a little bit harder for it. And I like it. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. I'm on board here. Still a 30 supply lead for C. That armor upgrade is done. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal against interceptors especially. Trying to just ignore the Dragoons, and that, boy, that carrier's dead instantly. Wow. Trying to keep them out of the range of the Goliaths, as we can see here. And the tanks are setting up in siege mode, which makes the Dragoons have to retreat for sure. Observers getting picked out of the sky here. Thanks to the scan. This carrier a little bit too close to the left side, taking some serious damage. It is down to yellow health from that attack. Defensive DT is trying to clear out as many of these Goliaths as possible. You have scans, yeah? Tell me. There's a scan. Alright, so DT's out. A lot of probes going down here. Bisu going on the counterattack, but has to deal with these spider mines first. Gonna try to wipe out this new base of C's along the left side. C's also trying to replace the 4th down south at the 6 o'clock position. Another DT comes in. That was preemptively seen, actually, and maybe Bisu should hold it. Should cool it with those. I don't know if C knows this exists or he'd be trying to kill it. I have that feeling that he would. So yeah, left side base, 9 o'clock position for C is done. 12 o'clock position for Bisu might be done, although the carriers are coming in and there are not enough Goliaths at this particular location to handle these. They are elsewhere, it seems. Are they seriously? What are they, scouting around? You have ComSat, guy. All right. The tanks are trying to finish off this Nexus before the carriers kill them. They have +2 attack, which is really nice. I guess killing probes is a priority here thing too, but they're all going to die. This is scrappy. This is a really scrappy PvT. I'm enjoying it a lot. This might get an epic tag depending how things go for the next few minutes here. I mean, C's up 129 to 117 supply. I really... Why are these guys just hanging out? They didn't kill this base. They didn't kill this base. They're just chilling. I guess they really want to kill these carriers is their plan right now. Which they should be able to, actually. At least one carrier is going to die here. There's no way you're saving that one. And by that I mean it escapes with all of 11 HP. So, fair enough, I guess. Honestly, push in. I would push in here. A 132 to 130, though, man. Bisu doing a good job getting that worker count back up to where it needs to be. It's at 40. Army supply pretty healthy, too. These carriers not really doing serious damage on the kill count, although 12 and 9 on those two is pretty good. The Goliaths are like, look, if you don't want to engage with us, we're just going to go ahead and kill your base if that's what you want. And actually kind of trapping him in here where there are cannons hitting him and Dragoons hitting him, and the carriers are abusing this high ground so they can't be directly targeted by the Goliaths. That is some really Gosu play out of Bisu, but what else do we expect, honestly? Goliaths dropping into the bottom right-hand base, killing probes here too. Probes forced to evacuate, pulling back to the safety of the cannons on some level, but that's a lot of lost mining too. This base is happily mining. I can't believe this one is still alive. I have to imagine that C doesn't know it exists or something along those lines. Either way, the Goliath count is plummeting. Plummeting. 6 Goliaths in production at a time. Still a bunch over here at the natural base. Hanging on to the 6 o'clock base has been really nice for C right now. But yeah, this game is scraps. These are just scraps, scraps, scraps for days. I don't know. I kind of feel like Bisu has the upper hand here. I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, are they going to save this Nexus? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, one more hit. I think it would have been done. Goliaths in here throwing down spider mines, trying to kill probes and whatnot, and they're all going to die themselves too. The rest of the army coming up to deal with that would buys C a bunch of time, man. Does he have the upgrades? He's got the +3 attack, which is beautiful. Still has that +2 armor. Still a 1-1 for the armor and attack for the Dragoons down south, and I have to assume the carriers haven't really benefited from any upgrades recently either. No. Just the +3. Still more Dark Templar play. Left side, 9 o'clock position being taken by C, or thinking about it anyway. Floating engineering bay caught out and moited. And then once again, the carriers are happy to engage here because they can pull up onto this high ground and run away. They don't have to take direct shots. Go out. Carriers at 8 HP. How is it not dead? That's amazing. This is a good target firing by C, finding the carriers that are injured and otherwise problematic and then taking them down. Dragoon count, pretty darn high actually, and yeah, good idea not to expand up this way. Again, from C, it would have not gone super well for him, I don't think. Is that an Archon? An Archon coming in. I haven't seen one of those in a while. In a PvT, anyway. But I guess... I don't know. I don't know what it's for. I'm thinking about it. DT defending this 12 o'clock position. Already has 3 kills. 54 to 41 workers in favor of the Terran player. 140 to 140. So Bisu has the bigger army, but the lower worker count. Can he defend here? That is the question of the day. Is he capable of defending in this position? What is... Ah, this Dragoon is taking down a refinery all by himself. He's gonna get it too for his 6th kill. Hooray! So 1 base mining for Bisu, 3 bases mining for Bisu, and effectively... Did I say 2? 3. 3 bases mining for Bisu, 2 mining here for C. Again, he has the worker count, but he doesn't really have the mineral count to make it worth it right now. Oh, that science vessel got picked out. That was a science vessel death noise. Nice target firing on those Dragoons, by the way. And then coming on down south, the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock position, rather, is in trouble. Bisu attacking on it again. This feels very much like deja vu. He was in here killing stuff just a few minutes ago, and now... SCV count just getting absolutely obliterated right now. The Dragoons are trying to get to a good point. The tanks try to siege up to deal with these Dragoons, and they're going to be able to pretty effectively, actually. Nice firing. With that +3 attack, the Dragoons do not want to stand in, but this command center is going to explode. Too much Protoss. Tanks just firing in a regular old, not siege mode. DT gets wiped out, and alright. So a lot of the ground armory for Bisu just died. Like, a lot of it just died. And that gives, well, still down in army supply, but it's only the carriers remaining with a handful of zealots, interestingly enough. And Dragoons and Archons here. Dude, is he going to do this thing? He's looking at it. He really needs to kill those carriers. That needs to be the priority here, and he's trying. He's trying to get up on the right side and take those guys down, but the Zealots are causing major problems here. The tanks are firing. The Archons in the mix. Never mind, he's totally dead. But look at these reinforcements coming in. Somehow Bisu's way up in supply, but at the same time, this particular position is being won. Well, was being won by C until the carriers again abuse their ability to fly over places the Goliaths can't traverse. 139 to 101 total supply. This base gets discovered. I wonder if that's demoralizing for C. He's like, wait, what? And that's your GG. C taps out, and Bisu is your winner here in 26 minutes and 10 seconds. Bisu still wants to kill things, which I can't necessarily blame him for that. Sometimes I just want to kill things too. But at the end of the day, he's out. That's a pretty good action. See an exploding tank, all of these interceptors flying on in and exploding it to death. Good game from Bisu. That is just pro elite best level carrier control. It is. Hit that like button, by the way, if you enjoyed the game, because I'm sure that you did. Helps me get more visibility. But yeah, man, I mean, that is just how you play carriers, right? You've probably tried to play carriers against Terran before. They make Goliaths. In a straight up fight, they whack you because they will. But he used this low ground to his advantage. He used this high ground to his advantage. He used this high ground to his advantage. He used this high ground to his advantage. The goal here is the carriers never really commit to being on the same level as the Goliaths if they can help it. And that's exactly what Bisu did. And these carriers just refused to die for the most part. A few of them did, but especially for the last few minutes, they were very tanky. 24 kills on that one, 9 kills on that one, 5 there, 9 there. I mean, definitely just paying for themselves over and over and over again. Killing the 6 o'clock base for the second time was humongous, and I really think C recognizing there was this base over here they didn't know about was just demoralizing, and he realized he was way more behind than he thought he was. With, again, the 3 mining bases for Bisu compared to the 2 for his. With this one dead, so the 1, and never could get this one up either. So, C trying to make it work, but the Bisu's carrier control was insanely good. Like, ridiculously good. Oh! Fantastic. Fantastic stuff here today. Alright, let's check out that final score. I mean, I think it really just, in a nutshell, what it came down to was the base that C didn't know existed and just incredible carrier control. I don't know what else to say there today, but end of time, units killed is fairly similar, produced fairly similar too. But at the end of the day, a little bit more spent here for Bisu. A lot of that was spent building interceptors as they were dying. I'm not sure if that actually counts under units produced or not. Maybe it does. Maybe it kind of skews these numbers. And then structures raised pretty even too. This was, again, a really even game until that final battle where the Zealots and the Archons did a ton of work against the Goliaths as they needed to do. And the carriers just kind of hung out on that low ground and sniped stuff from a distance. Well done. Well done for Sir Bisu. All right, fantastic stuff. Beautiful stuff. That, however, is going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.